What's up guys, Devil Dog Gamer here, and we're back talking about some Escape from Tarkov, and mainly we're talking about the shield that Battlestate kind of leaked out a little bit on Instagram a couple of weeks ago, and the reason it's taken me so long to get to it is one, baby, two, this is a Russian piece of equipment, which means trying to find anything substantial or accurate on it is usually fucking pretty hard to do, and three, Nikita has said recently that they are going to be adding a few weapons and mods. And they've been showing a lot of modifications and weapons on Instagram and Twitter these past few weeks before New Year's. So we should be getting some stuff real soon, and I have a feeling we might be getting this. So I'd like to talk about what I found out about these shields, how they might affect the game, and things like that. So first off, the main shield that the Russians use, and FSB and Sober use them, are called the Fort VMs. They come in different shapes, sizes, but I haven't been able to get a definitive armor class on them because the Russians are very, you can't trust a word they say because, you know, you can see some documents that are like, oh, 9x39 is only good piercing armor out to 100 meters. But, but another document will be like, oh, 9x39 can penetrate armor out to 1,000 meters. It's the Russians. You can't believe the fucking things they say about their equipment. But I have seen a very substantial trend. It's either class 5 or class 6 and the main body, and the lower leg portion, which is a Kevlar kind of kilt, is 3A equivalent. And that kilt can actually be unclipped and fall to the floor. So basically, it's toe to head coverage. So what does that say? Class 5, class 6, main body for, that's pretty crazy. Let's talk about a few other features of it. Has lights. It can, do the strobe effect. There's a video on here I'll show where they're doing the strobe effect with it. So it's going to be very bright. It weighs less than 25 pounds. It is designed to be held one-handed, and actually has a molly clip to where you can clip it to your vest, and you can hands off of it, and it'll just hang there right in front of you. You can use it with a submachine gun one-handed, the laser, submachine gun, stuff like that. So you're not going to be able to, it's not going to be something you just hide behind and hope for the best. You're going to be able to fight back. So, at class 5 or 6, if you're wearing armor on the other side, we've seen the changes with how M995 is becoming rarer, and now we have to take a step down to stuff that can just reliably pen class 4. Now you go to a class 5, class 6 shield, and you have class 5 or class 6 armor behind that, plus you're able to shoot back. Your survivability, it increases substantially. This is going to be, I feel like this thing's going to be an issue because, one, sure, it may slow down, but you're going to be able to use it as a diversionary tactic, especially with the lights and things like that. Now, people keep, when I originally brought up how I was like, I'm not really, taking this with a grain of salt kind of thing, people were like, oh, you can just throw grenades at it. Well, with the 3A Florida head coverage, you're at least getting from your feet. Even if somebody's throwing RGDs and stuff, you might be able to survive that. It's not going to be a kill. An F1 grenade right in front of that thing is definitely going to be a no-go. You're dead. That thing is just, it has a 200-meter shrapnel radius. It's freaking ridiculous. But RGDs and M67s, probably going to be able to walk it off with that kind of armor. You're hiding behind everything. There's a picture right here of one surviving an RPG-22 that didn't detonate. That's crazy, dude. That's absolutely crazy. So this thing might be pretty overpowered. I think specifically when used in groups, having people hide behind it, this taking the volume of fire, and people being able to peek out, get the angles and stuff like that, while the survivability of the shield user is completely there. At the same time, they can use it themselves. Or, you get somebody rocking this thing, running around, just hanging out and camping in a room, covering, holding a doorway, and they're just spraying with the freaking MP7 the whole time, using the laser. Because holding hallways and rooms specifically is kind of a problem when you find some solo players. They just like to hang out, lock down a hallway, and anything that comes in it, they die, kind of thing. And that's their play style. It's it's a valid play style. It's not my play style. But being able to get an entire body behind this thing, which is what FSB and Sober does. it's no secret that the Russians have had a very hard time with, any sort of room clearing, counterterrorism operations inside buildings. That's why the shield is used as much as it is. I mean, literally, anytime you see any sort of counterterrorism operation, there's a shield somewhere in there, because they've had a very bad history of just room clearing. I mean, you see the video that I'll play it again. It's just they don't know what the fuck they're doing half the time. It's pretty bad, and that's where the necessity of a high armor shield comes in. Because if you're first man, when you enter a doorway, you have a 70% chance of being dropped right there. It's the fatal funnel. A shield like this eliminates that to probably around 10%, I would say, or even less. I mean, if this thing can take as much as a beating. I did see a picture, I didn't save it when I saw it when I was doing the research, of one that took 300 rounds of 7.62 by 39, didn't penetrate. That's pretty fucking crazy. And I'm sure that was just their normal, FMJ, but still. I mean, the fact that it didn't deform or even, penetrate at that close range, it's pretty crazy. So that changes their dynamic of room clearing and stuff. And I think that's going to change the dynamic of this game, too, when it comes to dealing with groups and, moving into high-value areas. The groups using these shields, you're not going to be able to just peek out and spray and pray, because you're going to get popped, or your rounds are going to hit the shield and you're basically screwed. With the smoke being as garbage as it is, and us needing actual M18s to billow, trying to get out and displace against groups with shields, it's definitely going to be difficult. I think when 40 mics are added, we might have something to fight these shields. But right now, I think with the availability of the high-class armor-piercing stuff and the unreliability of some grenades, I feel that the shield might be pretty overpowered, especially if used in groups. Solo, you might be able to get around a person, but because of its weight, I think it's going to be pretty maneuverable, and you're not going to be able to kind of get around people as well as you think, especially when they're shooting back at you with either a pistol or a submachine gun. Do I think it's going to be expensive? Probably. I mean, you saw the tweak that we had to the thermal monocular, and it's like 11 million rubles right now. So this thing's probably going to be stupid expensive. But let's say for a wipe, you get a wipe, and this thing's available pretty early on. Okay, nobody has access to the high, armor-piercing, expensive fucking rounds. This thing's just going to tank everything. It's just going to be. You're going to be unstoppable, So hopefully it kind of gets balanced into a good position. Hopefully the ammo gets balanced into a good position, because this is something I really didn't when they were showing off claymores, anti-personnel mines, the drones, and then this. I started saying like, hey, this is not really, this is starting to become like Rainbow Six Siege, dude. Like, nah, man. There's, I'm not a big fan. I don't know. The more I think about it, the more the shield makes sense. But at the end of the day, let's say this, okay, can I put it on my back? Does it count as extra armor protection on my back at the same time? Like, there's so many variables with this shield that it makes it kind of hard to be like, I don't know if I really want this or not, you know what I mean? It becomes this kind of situation where it's a very, very ballistically sound shield. This thing could, keep people alive through multiple 60-round dumps if the ammo is right. And even grenades that are not pretty much at your tip of your toe. So at the end of the day, I'm hoping this thing doesn't come soon, because I don't want it to be rushed, because God forbid we get something in that is like this, and all of a sudden nobody can fucking penetrate it, and everyone's like, I need to get the NSV, and fucking, the only way we can get it is with tripod mounted, belt feds. So hopefully they work on it a little bit. I'm kind of excited to see it. I'm kind of not. I hope it's something rare and expensive, and I hope it's not used as much as I think it's going to be used. But at the end of the day, it's something new, and everything has its weakness in this game, unfortunately. We try to make it as realistic as possible, and especially when 40 mic might come, I mean, you're just going to get an HEDP round and just basically just shoot it right in the center, and everyone behind it dies. So, I'm not too worried until we can get the balancing kind of items out there, but it'll be interesting to see the kind of gameplay you can get out of it. But as a solo player, I definitely probably will not use it, but I will try to be figuring out ways to take it out myself. Let me know what you guys think about this. What do you think of the shield? Do you think this is the kind of the right direction? Do you think this is the wrong direction? Do you think it's going to be OP? How do you think Battlestate's going to handle the shield, and how do you think you're going to play with it? Alright, boys, but anyways, have a great day. I'll talk to you later. Peace.